Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational Lady podcast. Wednesday Wisdom is sponsored by K-12 Sports Tech, along with our other sponsors. And I want you to take the next couple of minutes and listen to our shout outs. Now, these are all companies that I have used as an athletic director. I trust them. I want you to trust them too. So listen to our messages, then listen to our interview, and then go visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We want to say thanks to K-12 Sports Tech for sponsoring Wednesday Wisdom. K-12 Sports Tech helps athletic directors and vendors connect through education and hands-on consulting services. Athletic directors are also invited to join the K-12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank and help influence how companies actually shape their tech to serve schools. To find out more or to join the think tank, just go to k12sportstech.com. That's it, k12sportstech.com. We'd like to thank Gipper for their support. You know, your students are on social media, and if they're not seeing content that you've created to celebrate their accomplishments and promote your program, you're really missing out on a great opportunity. Go to Gipper.com. Their team will have you creating world-class content in seconds, and it's so easy, even I can do it. That's Gipper.com. We'd also like to thank Huddle for their support. You know, as a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches just love the tools, our kids love the videos, our parents love the streaming, but there's a lot more. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users, and turn your school into a Huddle school. We'd like to thank Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. This is a totally online, very affordable 20-month program where you not only earn your master's, you also complete 11 NIAAA leadership training courses. To get started, to find out more information, just go to ohio.edu/info/MAA, the Ohio University Online Masters. We'd like to thank Home Campus for their support. Home Campus is a platform that you're going to use every single day. Things like scheduling, results, rosters. How about athlete eligibility and clearance? Who doesn't do that every day? Home Campus does all of this and more, does it better, and it does it faster. To get started, just go to homecampus.com. That's it, homecampus.com. We'd like to thank Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and schedule a live web demo to see their score tables and their scoreboards in action. It's probably one of the best purchases I ever made, was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. You're going to be very glad you did. We'd like to thank Hometown Ticketing for their support. Hometown is the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. I don't think I need to say anything more. Go to hometownticketing.com. It's digital ticketing that offers more. We'd like to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame for their support. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards for all the teams, for all the events, or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and check out their interactive touchscreen video consoles. It's also a great way to share your school's unique history along with your proudest moments. The website is vitalsignswalloffame.com. We want to say thanks to Snap Raise for their support. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and ended up with little, if any, return on investment? Go to snapraise.com. Check out all their great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. Go to snapraise.com. And we'd like to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. You know, athletic directors already get feedback, but a lot of times it's from a very small group that just wants to complain. Athletic Surveys will connect you to that group, but they're also going to connect you to the 98% that supports your program. And that data is incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with a frustrated parent, or maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We've got someone that we call a friend of the show and somebody that I call a good friend too, Lyndsay Watts. Regular listeners will remember Lyndsay was on for a full interview, right around January, I think, of this year. She has since moved on, taken on a new challenge. She's got an incredible athletic background. She was a competitive swimmer in college, has an outstanding record as a coach. She's been an athletic director before, but right now she's getting ready to start her brand new job. She's going to be the head swim and dive coach for Bentonville High School. That's in Bentonville, Arkansas. And I've asked her to join our Wednesday Wisdom team. So, Lyndsay, welcome to Wednesday Wisdom.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy to be here to share what little tidbits I learned throughout my journey in athletic administration. As you mentioned, yeah, I'm going back to the classroom and back to coaching this year. It was just an awesome move that my family needed to come to Northwest Arkansas. Just excellence abounds here. Both the swim teams, boys and girls, both won state last year. One of them has won 6 years in a row. Bentonville High School won 16 team state championships just last year alone. So, I mean, it's excellence everywhere. And I'm so proud and humbled and excited to be a part of it.
Well, again, for our listeners, Lyndsay and I connected at the national conference. We've had a chance to talk many times since then on different topics. Tremendous resource, somebody I'd call a rising star in our profession. Lyndsay, what do you have for our listeners this week on your first Wednesday Wisdom?
Okay, I'm just going to get after it, if you're okay with that. I've got 8 lessons for leaders from Ted Lasso. If you have not watched Ted Lasso, I don't assume there's a listener here that hasn't, but if you have not seen Ted Lasso, go see it. Make the time. It will make you a better leader. It will make you a better human. So go watch Ted Lasso. Binge it. It's amazing. Get after it. But 8 lessons from Ted Lasso about leadership. I'm going to dive right in. Our profession has so much turnover. We all know we put in so many hours and no one knows what we do except us, right? So the first thing is to know your why. You have to have a purpose in doing what you do on the daily basis. And you have to remember that why in everything. You have to know what you want to accomplish and what the reason is for accomplishing said goal. And we know, working in education-based athletics, our teachers are bombarded with lots of stuff as well. And a lot of teachers are getting burnt out, this huge teacher shortage. So the teachers who aren't even doing things like coaching on top of that are getting burnt out. So our coaches obviously have got a lot on their plates. So helping them remember their why. One of my things was send a Google form out. What is your why? Why are you coaching? And then I take that and I kind of cheese ball it up in Canva, make a little thing for them to put up in their locker room, at their desk, whatever, frame it so that they've got it to see it every day. Because waking up and remembering your why is huge. So helps with turnover, helps with all the burnout issues that we're having in education. Remember your why. And especially for us, why is it that we're doing what we're doing? Why are we spending 5 nights a week away from our families in order to support these students that aren't our own children, who become ours, if we're being honest? But remember your why. Lesson number 2, find potential in everyone. There's potential in everyone, but a leader's job as athletic administrators, our job is to unlock that potential, maximize the strengths of those around you, and help build up their weaknesses, right? So first thing you got to do is get to know your coaches, know their strengths and weaknesses, and find ways to lead them with their potential that you found in them. Build them up on the things that they're good at, help them build themselves while you're building them on the things that they need work with. If that means You've got a coach that's just really bad at doing the weekly rankings during their season. You sit down with them, you have a weekly meeting with them, help them plan out what their week looks like. And while you're in that meeting, you do those rankings with them or have them do them right there. Whatever it takes for you to unlock their potential and help support them in their greatness, get it done. Lesson number 3, dang, I'm banging these out. Lesson number 3, learn, grow, and win together. If you are ever the smartest person in the room that you're in, you are in the wrong room. You want to learn from others. You want to grow from others. You want to grow with others. You got to stay committed to your purpose and work with those around you to learn, grow, and win. Success is a shared process and experience. I can't imagine, I mean, I even did an individual sport as a swimmer when I was a student athlete, and I can't imagine any of my successes without my team around me. So winning should not be a solitary endeavor. Losing should not be done alone, right? And the growth that happens in order to get more wins should happen together. So win, learn, grow with your coaches, with those student athletes at your school, with your administrative staff. If you are not reaching out regularly, hopefully weekly or more, to your site administration to see how you as an athletic administrator can help build the culture, can help improve academic success, help improve attendance, whatever that looks like at your school. If you're not doing that, get after it. The more you can build rapport with those administrators that aren't specific to athletics, the better your experience will be and your student athletes' experience will be. So learn and grow with them as well. Lesson number 4. Let ideas come from everywhere. That, again, you should not be the smartest person in the room. You might be the smartest at one particular thing, but you should not be the smartest at everything in the room. If you've got coaches suggesting things, you might not want to do it exactly how they suggested it, but sit down with them. Take the time to listen to them, to hear them. Take the time to go back and forth a little bit, like, oh, I love that idea, but what if we switched it up? What if we twisted it in this way? And really make your coaches, your student athletes even that come in, make them feel heard and help facilitate their learning process by you supporting what they bring to you. So let ideas come from everywhere, anywhere. Again, coaches, student athletes, your administrator. A lot of administrators have been athletes themselves. So listen to them. They've experienced it before. So listen to everyone, learn from everyone, grow. Okay. Lesson number 5, let others know that they matter. Part of what I mentioned earlier, the getting to know your coaches, find their strengths and weaknesses. When you get to know someone on a level where you can anticipate their strengths and weaknesses without having to ask them, where you can anticipate their needs without having them have to come to you for help, that's when your coaches are going to feel valued. There are some that don't want to admit that they need the help. That doesn't mean we don't do it. Part of being in leadership is we do the difficult things. Tell them how much they matter. Tell them how great they are at the things that they're great at, but say, hey, I noticed you're really struggling in this area, and I care too much about you to let you fail in this. It's such a great way to reach those people that are a little, I don't know, hard-headed when it comes to receiving help, or dare I say, change the ways that they've always done things to maybe a new way that's better, and they don't even know it's better. So making sure that they understand that their knowledge and their expertise is important and it's valued, but that doesn't mean there might not be a better way to do things. Let's go back and forth and see how this might work for you with this new thing that we're rolling out. So let them know that they matter. That's how you're going to get your coaches on board, and that's how your coaches are going to get your kids on board. In education, we hear all the time, you have to develop that relationship with your students in order for them to get buy-in, or in order for them to buy into what you're teaching them. They don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. That's that piece right there. Let them know how much they matter. Student athletes, say hi to every single one of them in the hall. Students, say hi to every single one of them in the hall. As an athletic administrator, sometimes only the student athletes know who you are. That should never be a thing. Walk those halls during passing periods, say hi to everyone, make eye contact, brighten someone's day, like random high fives. I make a fool of myself when I walk through the hall because honestly, I don't care what their opinion is of me. I want them to smile. I want them to have fun at school. Especially as a special education teacher, like sometimes school's not fun. Sometimes doing something 8 hours a day that's a struggle for you is not fun. And it's hard to smile when you're there. So I make it my goal every day, just make people smile, let people know that they matter. Um, Number 6, be a goldfish. As a special education teacher, this is huge for me. As a leader, this has to be huge for all of us. You might get into it with a coach. You might not see eye to eye, and you might have to lay the law down and be like, listen, this isn't going to work the way you're wanting it to work. Do it my way. I mean, hopefully we don't ever have to get to that point, but every once in a while we may need to. And be a goldfish. Don't remember how much the coach or the student athlete or whomever frustrated you. The next day, you're greeting them with a smile. You're happy, not just greeting them with a smile because you feel like you need to, but you're genuinely happy to see them. You're genuinely starting over every single day. Be that goldfish. Forget the bad. Always look for ways to make the world a better place, your school a better place, the day better for the people that you encounter. So be a goldfish. Learn from your mistakes, but forget the negativity. Be you. You are you. Maximize your strengths. Learn how to balance out your weaknesses, and don't try to change who you are to please others. That's really hard because for myself, for example, I follow the rules. I don't want to break the rules. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want anyone to have to come and talk to me because I did the wrong thing, because then I'm wasting their time. It's a whole thing. So a big part of me is following the rules. Somehow that's not the popular opinion. People don't always want to follow the rules. Some people want to break them outright. Some people just want to bend them a little bit. I'm not a bender. I'm not a breaker. And I'm going to sell you on the life lesson that's involved in following the rules. Like when we're driving, we are trusting that the people driving at us going the opposite direction are following the rule that you shouldn't cross over that yellow line. And when we start bending and breaking rules that we feel are insignificant, it teaches our student athletes, it teaches ourselves that the rules aren't important. And in life, rules are important. Policies and procedures are important. So that's my thing. I've got to be me, but I still want to make people feel like they matter. I know that you don't think it's important that your student athletes have their shirts on in the weight room, but it is a school board adopted policy. We're going to make sure that the student athletes have their shirts on in the weight room. Honestly, personally, I don't care if a student athlete has their shirt on or not. I don't care if the girls are running in sports bras. I don't care if the boys are lifting without their shirts on, as long as they clean the equipment afterwards. I don't care personally, but you know what? It's a rule. It's a school board adopted policy, and we're going to follow it. So be you, but also understand that you have to make sure that you're willing to learn and grow while being you. Be you in that you understand what your weaknesses are. And again, mentioned them already, but make sure that you're learning and growing from those to help develop those weaknesses so that you're growing as a whole person, as an athletic administrator. Make sure that you're encouraging your coaches to do the same thing. And number 8, I told you it would be fast. This was so fast. Number 8, believe in yourself, believe in others, and believe what you can accomplish together. The key word in that, aside from believe, of course, is doing it together. I have had coworkers, peers that did not want to collaborate at all, and nothing got accomplished. Well, very little. I've had coworkers, peers that have been all about the collaboration, like literally standing in the hallway, doing hallway duty in between classes, and you start talking to the teacher across the way, like, wouldn't it be great if, and then you're like, ooh, that's not really possible, but what about if we did it like this? Collaboration is so huge. Everyone's heard the term, 2 heads are better than 1. Why aren't we doing so much of that? Why aren't we working together in making our school, our athletic department, our team, whatever it is, a better place? But I am like a chronic optimist, and I literally look everywhere for ways to improve things and make them better in a positive way. Not like the kind of person that just looks around and is like, oh, well, that's bad. Well, that's bad. I'm like, ooh, that's good. But what if we did this? It could be better. So believe in yourself and your abilities, believe in the people that you're working with, and ensure that you're surrounding yourself with people who also believe, and then work together to achieve. Those are my 8 quick takeaways from Ted Lasso.
Well, first of all, thanks for sharing. And again, Lyndsay is right. If for some reason you have not watched the series, it was on Amazon. There's three seasons, and I think it ended
So good.
maybe last year or the year before. But it's better than anyone has ever described it to you. I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, Ted Lasso sucks. Oh, it was a waste of
Never,
time."
yeah.
I've never heard that. And the lessons that she shared. Um, it's become a little bit of a thing for business leaders or coaches or
Mhm.
even athletic directors to share these because they're so good. But Lyndsay, I love the spin that you put on each one and kind of, made that laser focus a little more for athletic
Yeah.
directors and for coaches. Great stuff. Um, as I mentioned, Lyndsay was on the podcast back at the start of the year, but she's starting a new job. She's the head swim and dive coach at Bentonville High School in Bentonville, Arkansas. Lyndsay, if one of our listeners wants to reach out and add you to their network, and listeners, you got a great resource here. What's the best way that they can get a hold of you?
Reach out to me. I am a sharer of all the resources. I have Google Drive folders with all the things that I shared when I spoke at NADC last summer, last winter. Things that I shared when I spoke at the Oklahoma Athletic Directors Conference this summer and a Border States Summit this summer. I save all the resources to just, here you go, look through it and do the things. So if you email me at ooh, I should give you my personal email. Watts, WATTS .Lynds, LYNDS @gmail.com. Again, that's Watts.Lynds, LYNDS @gmail.com.
Okay. Well, Lyndsay, thanks again for sharing with our listeners. All the best as you get ready to start that new season. Listeners, you're going to be listening to this in a very timely manner. And hopefully, I know you and I already talked about this. Hopefully, we're going to see you again at the national
Yes.
conference in Austin, Texas in December.
Hopefully I will be there. I'm going to make every effort to do so. It is during my season, but I'm going to start planting that seed with my administration now that I would love to attend and learn and grow to help build our programs in Bentonville.
All right. Well, now you can do me a favor. You can talk to our good friend Doug Kilgore and have him invite me to speak at the Border State Summit next year.
Will do. I will absolutely do that. I
Uh,
will absolutely do that. And I'm excited to meet all the athletic administrators across Arkansas. I did get to speak with Doug at Border States. And it's such a great group of administrators here. And I'm so excited to hopefully continue to be a part of what they do and learn and grow from them to grow back into athletic administration eventually.
well, again, Lyndsay, thanks a lot. And we're going to look forward to having you back on Wednesday
I
Wisdom.
cannot wait. Can't wait. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. For our listeners, we want to thank you and just remind you that we upload the Zoom recordings of all of our interviews to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this segment every single week, and just about every day we try to share stories and best practices. So hopefully you'll come back and join us again on the next Educational AD Podcast. Thanks for listening. Hey, before we go, we do want to acknowledge all of our great sponsors. K-12 Sports Tech. They're the name sponsor of our Wednesday Wisdom segments. Visit K12sportstech.com. We'd like to thank Gipper, Home Campus, Sideline Interactive, Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack, the Ohio University Online Masters Program, Vital Signs Wall of Fame, Hometown Ticketing, Snap Raise, and of course, Huddle. Go visit these sponsors, and thanks again for listening to the Educational AD Podcast.